You're welcome to the Wednesday edition of Dominion Sport right here on Dominion Television. Top of the morning to you, and let me inform you that this wonderful morning we have loads of story making the rounds in the world of sport. From the local front, we've got update from the report yesterday from Kano Pillars. They have been charged with some disciplinary actions. Also, we have update from the NWFL. We have update also from Sporting Lagos. More stories surrounding that player, Onitolo. We'll also be giving you updates from the world of basketball, back-to-back action. The draws are now in the open. Also, we're giving you updates from Chelsea. We have updates from Lens, the Cup de France. We're talking Inter Milan, Como. With game tonight, Manchester City are going to play to Burnley on their home front. Also, let me inform you that Kamara Adegoke is going to join us on the show this wonderful morning. I'm not alone in the studio this morning. I have the Queen of Sport. I wanted to say Sanori. I'm wondering, okay, so I have Mabuba in the studio this morning, and I have the man who is donning the jersey of Manchester United. What a time to be alive, to be a fan of Manchester United.
What a time, really. It's nice to be back again. Good morning to Luan. Good morning, Mabuba. Good morning, everyone. It's nice to be back again. And he gave it all. He said we had loads to talk about. Kamal somewhere in the background. We have to chat about it. The World Cup in the basketball was announced yesterday. The draw was made yesterday. The tip-off is later this year. So that and more to talk about this morning.
All right, beautiful. Also, the Queen of Sports, she looks excited. I'm sure she had lots of questions.
Real Madrid won yesterday. So
there's so much to talk about in the world of sport. But you were flooding my DM with lots of questions. I'm wondering where we're going to start from. So this morning you look excited. What's in stock for us in the world of sport?
Thank you very much, Toluwanimi, and to you, Nuruddin, good morning. So, as you mentioned, that's not reason I mentioned, and you also mentioned as well, we'll have a lot of actions to unpack this morning, but the one that I'm looking forward to the most is the conversation that we'll be having today with Shooting Stars player Kamara Adegoke, because we understand that as much as important whereby we give you updates around amount matches in the NPFL, it's also important for us to get perspective of these players, the internal side of their stories that the camera does not always capture. So today, as Toluwanimi has mentioned, we're going to be having Kamara Adegoke join us up here. We're going to be asking him lots of questions about his journey in the world of football, how he navigated the spot as a young football player navigating the NPFL, and his aspirations going forward. Thank you.
What an intro, I'm wondering to have money in the account right now. So maybe after the show, we have a party to celebrate. Are you in Nuruddin?
100%.
What party?
No, don't worry. We'll go back to that. All right, let's start off from the local front. Yesterday, we're discussing the situation around the Kano Pillars. Nuruddin, you remember, right now, Kano Pillars have been charged for multiple breaches, and I'm wondering where are we now. They fail to provide adequate security, pitch invasion and restricted area breach, harassment and intimidation of officials, and supporters misconduct. Now, the total fine has been valued to 12 million naira, and also at the next 3 home games behind closed door.
Where is the point deduction?
So this is not what we want to see.
I know as a
strict
action,
you're
looking for the
no,
point deduction.
No, I'm not looking for that. No, I'm looking for the same statement you made yesterday, that if we are to have proper, the discipline actions when it comes to situation in the NPFL, we need strict actions. Now, hold on. Now, there you have it on the screen, and let me just give an update quickly concerning that. Kano Pillars FC disciplinary record over the past few years paints a worrying picture. Now, since 2019, Kano Pillars have been fined over 61 million due to the fans' poor conduct, and it's still happening till date 2026.
That is the problem we have in the NPFL. And we mentioned yesterday that it seems the sanctions are not enough, and everybody seems to say, okay, I'll commit the crime, I'll definitely pay it. For a team that's committed an offense of such conduct earlier in the season, I think the measures or the sanctions or the offenses they were charged with, I think they're very little. Or maybe the fine for me is not enough. From a neutral point of view, there are 3 games to the end of the season. They'll play maybe 2 or 1 home games. They don't have their fans. They will make do with it. But I think when stricter measures are employed by the NPFL governing body, I think a lot of teams will desist from allowing their fans to get into the stadium and disrupt the proceedings of the game.
Now, I want to ask you, Mabuba, for me now it looks political because, you're demanding money and there are no still changes. So it looks like, it's just the money we need. That's what it's looking like for me, because if you talk of strict sanctions by now, going by the record of 2019 to date, I think Kano Pillars should not be in the league if we're still going to be talking about disciplinary measures for a team like Kano Pillars. So right now it looks political. Do you agree with me, or you have other ways to say I think we should do better as a body when it comes to pushing our football to the world?
Is it Toluwanimi? I agree with you 100% because I've mentioned time and over, and one thing I've noticed when it comes to different leagues across the world is the fact that whenever teams commit certain offences, stricter measures are not being, imposed, and it's seeming more as if this is more or less, a ploy by the administrative head of certain leagues to get money from football clubs. They know that if they keep on finding them, these clubs have the money, they'll figure out a way to pay it. And I feel that the goal itself is not exactly in solving the main problem, but more or less putting in measures through which they get to get financial resources from this club. Because if they want to sort the issue of players or fans invading the pitches to attack the players, or maybe fans carrying a sort of misconduct, there are stricter measures to impose. There is point deduction, and we speak about. First of all, how on earth is there a possibility of fans invading the stadium? Why are there no barriers between the pitch itself and the places where the fans themselves stay? So it's looking more as if that there are other measures that the NPFL can actually impose to make sure that these issues of fans invading the pitch or current misconduct are reduced, even if they're not totally eradicated. But those measures, they exist, but then they are not imposing them. So as you mentioned, I do feel like it's more or less a ploy by the NPFL to get more monies from this team, because they know that definitely these teams are going to find a way to pay the money. There is point deduction, because the idea of banning fans from the stadium, it has never ever been efficient. Even when we're tackling cases like racism, cases like fans invading the pitch, certain measures are not, they're not effective. So as you mentioned, I don't think that it seems political, because if the clubs are fined, they'll find a way to pay. But then the MPFL can come out and say that at the end of the day, certain sanctions were put in place, but then at the end of the day, they actually kind of go by those sanctions. They paid the fine, so they're being forgiven. So which means that we should definitely prepare to see issues like this occur over and over in the MPFL, because the major solutions that we need to eradicating or reducing these issues are not being imposed.
And for the love of God, MPFL are in charge of security in the stadium. They're the one that have to write to the security bodies, the police, and the civil defense, or any other security agencies that they want to have at the stadium for games. So for every time fan trouble happens in the stadium, the blame is always shifted to that of the club sides. But for every time, the MPFL over and over again, they seem to lapse at their responsibilities. So it's a collective effort now for us to move on from these continuous issues. We have loads of underlying issues that we need to face and eradicate completely before we can say we want to eradicate violence from our game or fan trouble from our game in the future.
All right, beautiful. Let's move away from that, and we hope that we have stricter measures and also,
and I remember one again, for Kano Pillars, even when they were reigning champions for 3 or 4 times in the league, this issue persisted. They had sometimes more fans than their stadium could accommodate in games. They were sanctioned for that, and it seems happening and recurring over again. So I think maybe when they relegated them into the second division, because if it were a different team, I know there will be talks of them deducting their points as well for this. So for them, Stars fans like you, I think you want them to include that.
Honestly, man, if it was Rebel Star right now, I would have something else to say. But come on, we hope that those are sorted out, and we have a good system running in Nigeria Football League. Let's move away from that. Let's talk about where it's all to play in the Conference D, as one more sport is left, for qualification. Match day on Wednesday, Yobe Desert are going to face Bichi first. We have Kebbi United welcoming Jigawa Golden Stars, and Gombe against the Ranchers Bees. And when you look at the table quickly, you look at Ranchers Bees with 20 points, Adamawa United with 18, Jigawa Golden Stars on 18. So a win for Ranchers Bees would secure their qualification. And I think it's credit, for the Valencia striker. I'm talking about, I'm trying to remember his name right now, Sadiq Umar. Yes, he is one of the owners of this club. I think it's good to see, one of the old, I don't want to say old taker right now, because Ranchers Bees are also, one of those, perennial names, in the MPFL. But for you, how do you see this game for Ranchers B? Can they secure qualification? Because Adamawa on 18, Jigawa Golden Stars on 18. So a win for them and maybe a draw or a loss might ample the chances of qualification.
Well, I would say that as much as it is that Rangers have actually been in the game in a long time, I feel it depends more as it's a big game, definitely, and both sides will try to put in their best foot in this encounter to make sure that they secure a win to eventually qualify. But then I will not say, or I will not place the totality of my support for a particular team. I will say that, I think it depends. Both teams that I mentioned, they actually kind of like they'll definitely put in their best foot to secure a win in this encounter. So it's more or less thinking that the best team itself is going to be the one securing this thing, because I mentioned both teams they are both in a good position when it comes to the league itself, and they're also trying to get their best foot in this one. So I feel there's a lot to play for, and it is open. So it can either go to Rangers or the opponent which they are facing.
All right. For you, do you see Rangers be getting qualification quickly?
Yes, I see them getting qualification. This is an important game, and they have all the stake. The destiny is in their hands. They need to get maximum points in this one, and we want to see them in the bigger leagues because of the amount of financial watches they will bring and the kind of exposure they will bring to the league. So you talk about Sadiq Umar being one of the owners. That has helped. He has the knowledge of the football, and he wants to see the team grow. That's what we want to see from owners, and that's what we want to see from football clubs in the league. So I expect them to get the maximum point. I'll be talking about their victory tomorrow.
All right, beautiful. You're talking about Sadiq Umar. He got the equalizer right there for Valencia against Mallorca. All right, moving away from that, this is coming through from Sporting Lagos situation about a striker, Onitolu. From reliable source inside Sporting Lagos, we got a report that Onitolu was actually invited by Sporting Lagos, not for a tryout, but for contract negotiations and signing. But according to him, he said he had an European deal in the pipeline as at that time. And we are talking about when you have an European deal and you look at the NPFL, which do you pick? You talk about the money, or you talk about career, you talk about, just putting your face out there. But this is a situation around, this young man who has been in the news for way too long. For you, let me start off with you, this opportunity, should they take the opportunity? Should Sporting Lagos sign the deal? Because it's not yet still in the order.
Yes,
but we're just talking about this young striker.
Yes, he's a very popular guy on social media. You see his videos, you see him. There was one-on-one competition that was conducted last month, and it was one of the key names that performed at that competition. He couldn't win, but I've seen him do one or two things. And for me, if he has the chance for a European glory, and that is very sure for him, I think that's the best part to push for you because of the exposure the league is going to and the structure they have in the European League. But then again, it depends on the European country or the European League he's moving to, because that's also a very big part in it. We all hear Europe. There are lots of teams in Europe. There are teams outside the top 5 leagues that also have this little bit of structure, but they have problems in their own leagues as well. So that's a very big one. He and his team have to figure out what is that. But for him, if he has the Sporting Lagos deal as well, it's a very good one. Sporting Lagos looks like excited. They know what they are doing. Recently promoted into the league. We've seen the fanfare, the exposure, and the type of media they are imputing into their side to give them that goal. So he has good options on his table. He and his team have to sit down. Yes, the MPFL, they still have their own misdemeanors. One or two things are going. We just spoke about fan trouble in some of the games. But for him, if Sporting Lagos have a chance to put him on their roster, they can also make money off him if the European deal later comes on. So it's a win-win for everybody. Great. If he can start with the MPFL, maybe next season when the Sporting Lagos team gets inducted into the MPFL properly, he's going to have the chance to show the world what he has to do. The MPFL is gaining ground for him. We spoke about coverage now. We have coverage of games in weekends now. There are improvements in one or two aspects. So, and for Sporting Lagos, one of the newbies, they are going to make the noise. They will improve your stock, and that is what you want to see. That's what. So his team now has to sit down and just oppose it together and say, okay, this is an European deal. What country is it? What's the playing time going to be like? What's the structure of this league? Are we going to get the best out of this deal, or are we going to get the best from Sporting Lagos? So may the best deal come true for him, and hoping to see him do greater things in future.
All right, you're talking about the best deal. He has not had no background check on NNL, NLO. He has not a professional career when it comes to Nigeria Professional Football League. Those are what is going around on Twitter. For you, does that stop him from achieving his dream?
Well, I would say that does not stop him. but at the same time, not the support of Sporting
Sporting
Lagos
Lagos, yeah.
going for Imo, including in the roster just yet. And that is because we understand what happened to Sporting Lagos before they got relegated from the NPFL in the past seasons. This is a team that does not simply want to come to the NPFL and just play, but just to only get relegated. So I understand the fact that there's been a lot of noise, not let me just say publicity in terms of Onitolo on X over the past few days. But at the same time, what happens on the field of play and what we are seeing on social media, there might be two different things. If they intend to sign a player and Sporting Lagos intends to secure their position there in the NPFL, I really don't think it is technically wise for them to go for a player that has no background check and that has no history of what he's capable of. We know the fact that NPFL itself is a competitive team here in Nigeria, and not every single player can stand the momentum and intensity of the teams and the matches that are being played. Let's say, for example, the NWFL. We know what's happening to Pacesetter Queens right now. So we know that even though the NPFL does not rank high when it comes to the top teams we have in Africa, in Nigeria here, we understand the fact that not every player can play at the level of the NPFL.
Yeah.
So Onitolo is popular on social media, yes, but we don't know what he's capable of doing on the field of play. So we don't want it on the NPFL.
The chance, he's not going to have the chance.
If he wants the chance, if he wants the opportunity, there's the NLO, there's the NNL. He can start from there and prove himself.
Why are you limiting him to the NLO and NNL?
He can start elsewhere, but we cannot simply say because he's popular on social
No,
media.
it's not going to. For Sporting Lagos, he was invited for trials, and the trial doesn't automatically
rule him out.
Doesn't automatically take him into the team. So when he finishes the trial, the medicals and all the necessary things you have to do before you get to the end of your approval and the approval of your contract, we are going to know. So if he's not given the chance, we need to give players the chance to show themselves. Kelechi Iheanacho had no background check before he went to the World Cup with the under-17 national team. There are very few players like that have the chance to show themselves. So it not necessarily mean you start from the lower leagues before you stretch yourself and show that this is what you can do. We've seen players come from non-league sides down to the European, to the big leagues and show what they can do. So I think he deserves a chance. Yes, he might not necessarily get the starting bet immediately when he gets to the team, but when the time comes, he's going to get himself, and if the deal works out with Sporting Lagos, fine. If it doesn't work out, he has to look for his place elsewhere.
All right, we're going to go on a break shortly, but before that, let me inform you that Remo Stars FC, who have historically not prioritized the Federation Cup, now find their only route to continental football next season. They take on the academy side beyond limit of the NNL for a chance at one of the Ogun State and 2 Federation Cup slots in the first round. Is that why you're laughing, or I think this is just what it is right now for Remo Stars?
It's just what it is for them. How the champion has fallen, current champions of the NPFL.
And they're facing their own side.
I'm
wondering who wants to win now. Who takes it all?
They have to prioritize and may the best man win.
With the best man win. All right, we're going to go on a break, and when we are back, we have our guest. We are talking Kamara Adegoke, the man who's always coming on the bench to get victory.
They call him Ishano.
Ishano, is that what they call him now? He's going to join us on the studio this wonderful morning. Stay connected, do not go anywhere.
Need a professional space to bring your vision to life? Dominion Television Studios offers state-of-the-art facilities perfect for your next broadcast, commercial, corporate video, or live event. With flexible rental options, cutting-edge equipment, and a supportive team, we provide the perfect environment for high-quality productions. Unleash your creativity. For bookings, email us at marketing@dominion.org.ng. Call us on 0705 506 1061 or 0916 101 1061. Check us out on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and TikTok at Dominion Broadcast, and on X at Dominion Casts. Book your space today. Dominion Television, your channel of choice.
Live from the heart of the action. Welcome to the nerve center of Next Level Broadcasting.
This is the OB van, where the studio meets the street.
Equipped with cutting-edge cameras, crystal clear audio, real-time switching, and broadcast control, we don't just capture moments, we deliver the experience live.
Anywhere, anytime, from stadiums to red carpets, breaking news to buzzing festivals, weddings, birthdays, and all sorts of ceremonies. We bring the world to your screen in real time.
It's not just a van, it's a complete mobile production house, a command center, a broadcast beast.
This is more than a broadcast. This is the OB van difference. Live, loud, limitless.
Ready to go live like never before? Book the OB van today and take your event to the world. One powerful broadcast at a time.
To book, call 0705 506 1061 or 0916 101 1061. Email marketing@dominion.org.ng or visit our socials on Instagram @Dominion Broadcast.
Dominion Broadcast.
All right, you're welcome back to Dominion Sport, right here on Dominion Television. We have our guest in the studio, Kamara Adegoke. For me, I call him Mr. Clutch. Sanuruddin is calling him Shano, and I'm wondering where all the names are coming from. But quickly, let me just inform you that Kamara Adegoke is a center forward currently playing for Shooting Stars Football Club. The striker joined from Ibadan Bayside ahead of the 2025-2026 season, signing a 2-year contract after completing a move from Nasarawa United. Known for his energy, movement, and attacking instinct, he has constantly influenced games with fresh attacking momentum and decisive forward play. Adegoke continues to establish himself within the squad as a reliable attacking option, using his appearance to showcase his goal threat and tactical discipline in the team. If you're watching us right now, I want you to help me welcome a superstar, the man of the moment when it comes to Shooting Star Football Club, Kamara Adegoke. It's good to have you. I want to ask you quickly, where did this whole story begin for you? You talk about your journey into the world of football. Where did it all start?
Well, after my university, I've been playing during my university days. So after I finished, I graduated. So I traveled. I traveled to Europe, Spain.
Wow.
That's where I started playing. Then I came back to Nigeria. I played NLU1 with Ibadan United. Then after then, I traveled again to South Africa.
Wow.
So the deal didn't work. Then came back, joined Nasarawa United, second stanza of the season of the 2024-2025 season. Then Shooting Stars now.
Shooting Stars now.
Yeah.
Now, with a background check on your career, you're an economist. What switched for you? Say, I'm not going to do that. I'm not doing plus and minus. I'm not doing any of that. Then it's football for you.
Ever since my childhood, I've been wanting to be a footballer. But I have an uncle, Kunle Adegoke, is a son. So he's always disturbing me. I have to go to school. Before I can pursue my dream. So I had to give that to him, and then after my university, I was like, okay, let me do what I want to do.
I want to do what I want to do now.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. You talk about Spain, talk about South Africa, having all those European, structure in your mind, and now the MPFL, how did it shape you?
Well, one thing I love about myself is, let me say, maybe I'm a very intelligent player, so
and economics will definitely be
definitely.
Don't
So
worry. You can't beat that. You can't beat that.
Men always position myself. I have a good positioning, so that's what have been helping me a lot.
Okay. I know the Queen of Sport and also Nuruddin have questions. I'm going to start off with you quickly. While we run through more updates from Nuruddin. Go ahead.
Okay, so Kamara, thank you very much for joining us.
You're welcome.
So as Toluwanimi said from the profile, you also mentioned that you joined Nasarawa United before you switched down to Shooting Stars. And if I'm not wrong, you joined Nasarawa United at a point in time whereby they were struggling at the city and a battling relegation.
Yeah.
But then, after you played at Nasarawa United, I know that no team will want to join, no player will want to join a team that is struggling or has the potential of, going lower end of Nigerian football. The reason behind you joining Nasarawa United, despite the fact that they had a chance or there was a possibility of them getting relegated.
Yeah, all thanks to my former coach Kabir Dogo. It was his team I scored Breeze
Breeze.
Yeah, in the academy. So
How did you feel actually?
Oh, I couldn't look at his eyes. Yeah, I couldn't.
Sorry.
So, after I go back from South Africa, so he believed in me. So, and he invited me. I actually went there for trials though, and I passed trials. So, my first 3 home games I scored. So, prior to February, March, they sacked the coach. So I couldn't have much playing time again. So, more reason I could not score much in Nasarawa United. Yeah.
Was that, if I may ask, was that a reason that led to you being signed up by Shooting Stars? The fact that you weren't getting enough playing time in Nasarawa United, and then Shooting Stars came knocking. Was that the primary reason as to why you had to leave Nasarawa United behind and go for Shooting Stars?
Well, Shooting Stars is the biggest club in Nigeria. So when Shooting Star came for me, I could not say no. I had to I want to go and experience this. Yeah, so.
I'm going to ask you before Nuruddin comes in. You had a slow start to the season when it comes to Shooting Stars. But how did you pick up again? What turned around for you? Who did you talk to? Or did you go into a cave and say, "Come on, I must just make this happen for me"?
Oh well, I had a very very slow start at the start of the season, at the first stanza of the season.
Yeah.
So and all thanks to Mr. Habib, our psychologist. So
You have so many people to thank actually. You have mentioned several names.
A lot.
Beautiful,
I have a
beautiful
lot of
journey.
people to. Yeah,
Beautiful
yes,
journey,
thanks.
yeah.
Yeah. So thanks to Mr. Habib, our psychologist, he has helped me a lot. So and after the first round, I went back home, and I had to sit myself down. What's wrong with me? Then the second stanza came in. Then I had to pick myself up. Okay, no, I can do this. Our first match in second stanza, I came in 3 minutes to the end of the game and I scored. So since then, I've been having my confidence. I lost it already. I lost my confidence already. I lost it totally already.
Totally. Quickly.
Yes, Kamara, thank you for coming here.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Your game is more of, you talked about your positioning and your pace. Those are your strong points. What other areas of your game do you think you can improve on and you'd like to explore to make you a better complete player?
Well, winning area duels, and playing shots from outside.
That's just your area. Now I want to ask you quickly, when you're on the bench and you're wondering the goals are not coming in from my team, what goes on in your mind when the coach is thinking I need to bring this man on? What goes on in your mind? Because I've seen you play and I'm like, they'll soon bring this guy on and he will deliver. And I'm wondering, is it that you are looking at your legs and come on, coachy, me not need, what's happening? What goes through your mind?
Anytime I'm on the bench, I tend to watch the defenders of the opponent to see the one that is weak, to see their weakness. So anytime I have the chance to come in, so the defenders that I know is weak, so I just go to him. Yeah, that's what I've been helping me.
That's what I've been helping you actually.
I've been reading games from the bench so well, and it has been helping the team.
Okay, so just one more question for me quickly.
You've done about 3 or 4 celebrations this season. You've done the Papilo dance. You've done the Fabrice Muamba dance. Which one do you think is the best for you, and which other celebrations are you going to see for you before the season ends?
Yeah, Papilo dance.
It's Papilo dance.
It's Papilo dance, and expect a Sue in our next game.
In your next game. So definitely you're getting a goal in the next game.
Inshallah.
All right, quickly.
Okay, so Kamara, I have 2 more questions for you. So the first question is that, you're a young player, you have potential to do much more. And one thing we've noticed so far in the season is that, at the second half of the season, is that you tend to come off the bench and you influence the game for your team. Now, do you think that you deserve more playing time? I've mentioned before that, you only come you come at the second half of the game and then you influence the game. But do you think that if you're given, let's say, more than just 45 minutes of the game, you have the potential to influence the game more and we can see more of you over there on the pitch?
Well, I think our coach, Mr. Nuruddin Aweru, knows what he's doing and what's best for the team. So okay, the guy, Sadiq Ibrahim, that plays as the number 9, he is my best friend in the team.
Yeah, so I saw that bromance.
Yeah, the bromance.
I think one game I came to watch.
Anytime he wants to come out, I like still push him like, guy, no, do this, play 75, then if you are tired, then I'll come in. So the bromance is there. So I feel like Mr. Nuruddin knows what's best for the team, and he's working perfectly for us. Okay, at the game against Plateau, I started the game and I even scored in the first 10 minutes. So it's not like what Mr. Nuruddin been doing for the team is working. So fine, I'm more of a team player. So
everything works for you.
And for the team as well.
Now I want to ask you, can you still qualify for continental sports?
Yeah, like my SD messaged me this morning. His message was like, we are at war. Definitely. This is our target from the start of the season. So definitely, inshallah, yeah, we are working towards it and it will come to pass.
Yeah.
Yes, you spoke about the continental tickets. Do you see yourself with Shooting Stars beyond this season, or if you get the offer from an MPFL club that maybe qualified for the continent, are you going to switch sides just like you did?
I mean, we're going to talk about European too. If you get an European move now, are you going to move?
Well, all belongs to God.
That's a political answer.
It's fine. One question quickly.
Yeah, the last question I have is that, back in January, after you won the Rubicon Award for both the Player of the Month and the Goal of the Month, you had an interview with ACL Media and you said, and I quote, "Every young Nigerian footballer wants to go abroad and make money. Kamar, if an European club or a team in the Middle East that comes with so much money comes and give you an offer now, despite the fact that maybe Shooting Stars eventually qualifies for the Continental Trophy, are you going to leave, or you're still going to stay here at Shooting Stars and help them win the Continental Trophy?"
Well, every player wants to move to abroad to play, and I'm very sure Shooting Stars wants something good for me. Yeah. So yeah, it depends on them, and I'm sure they will let me leave.
So if the offer comes, you will leave.
Okay, don't set him up right now. Don't put him on the spot. Now, before you go, I know there are young fans, your fans watching you. You're a fan's favorite right now, and I can see the balls. What are you going to tell them, towards the end of the season? And also, young footballers, I want to be like you. What are you going to tell them? And also, I want to ask you, what club do you support outside Europe?
Oh, I support Chelsea.
Oh.
Chelsea.
You have to stay a little bit longer. We want to talk about.
Okay, so go ahead.
This football game, it requires a lot of dedication. So to my young footballers out there, if they want to do it, they will do it. So yeah, they will do it. So.
And for your fans, what are you telling your fans also?
Oh. Like I used to say, I'm enjoying the moments with the Ibadan, the Oluyole Warriors fans. Like I appreciate them. Me coming up from the bench, even for a warm up, the way they cheers me up, like okay, that I'm always happy. That okay, now I have to give it everything to the fans. So my friends too, I appreciate it.
Right, my producer said I must not let you go because we need to analyze Chelsea. My producer said I must not let you go because we need to analyze Chelsea, just like you said. And also we have a game, Burnley against Manchester City. For you, it's not working out for Chelsea, and five primary games without a goal. Maybe if they have a camera day bookie on their team, they will get a goal finally. So what's not working for Liam Rusonao for you? How are you feeling as a Chelsea fan at this point in time?
Well, ever since we loaned Jackson to Bayern Munich, I was not happy with the move. I felt like Jackson should still be in the team because the connection between Jackson and Palmer is like very, very okay. Yeah. So I feel like we miss Jackson and the coach.
Right, talking about another blue right now, Burnley against Manchester City. Nuruddin, for you, that game, how do you see that game?
It's going to be a very big game. Burnley are looking to fight their way out of relegation. Mathematically, they can still do that. They have 20 points right now, 3 more than the team that confirmed relegation yesterday. But I don't think they'll be strong enough.
Subscribe. We're on Twitter, we're on our Facebook, we're on Instagram, also on YouTube. Tell our Facebook and Instagram, also on YouTube. Tell a friend, and also drop your comment. Till we see you again tomorrow. Stay safe, stay blessed, and bye for now.